Yo guys, what's going on? Got a really fun and goofy profile for you guys today. So this is going to be a kind of green OTK list centered around GranKuwagamon. I was messing around with this a lot this past format just because I kind of wanted to figure out what the best ways for abusing Chimeramon were, and turns out a really good way to do that is to stick a bunch of materials underneath him and then detach them all with the GranKuwagamon to check a bunch of security. So guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. So for the Digi Eggs, just playing 4 copies of Yokomon. This guy is really good just because most of your, or in fact all the high end you're playing is our Digiburst Digimon, so then you can use this to get plus 2000. It's not super relevant what this is, but this is really the only one that works with Digiburst. You could realistically play like any green egg and it would be fine. You're just basically trying to attach this anyways to go for your OTK. And then so for the level 3 Digimon, of course, playing the 4 copies of the Jamming Palmon. This guy is really essential for the OTK strategy because it guarantees that your GranKuwagamon and your Chaosmon won't die to security via battle. So when this guy is detached due to Digiburst, you get jamming for the turn. You can actually stick it on any one of your Digimon. It doesn't necessarily have to be the one it was detached from, but typically that's what you're going to do. And then for the other guys, we got 3 copies of Terriermon, just to have a memory choker, really good against Imperial, turns off Hammer Sparks, turns off Jack Raids against the purple matchup, etc. Stuff like that. Just an overall really solid green rookie. And then for the others, I wasn't too sure on what to put in here, so just playing 2 copies of Tentomon for some consistency purposes. This guy is really good when you need something to play from your hand. If you're breaking on level 3s, you can play this reveal top card. If it's a green Digimon, you can then just add it to your hand. And then 2 copies of Kunamon. This guy, being 5000, is actually really relevant against not only Imperial, but just a lot of decks that swing with their rookies and lower level Digimon. This runs over Stingmon, XVmon, any level 3 in the game. So it just needed something else that offered some form of utility in the form of a level 3 Digimon. So that is it for the level 3s. And for the level 4s, playing a lot of low-cost vanillas. So 4 copies of Vegemon, and of course 4 copies of Roachmon. These guys are really good to climb the ladder very quickly and to go into your Chimeramon. A lot of times if you're starting with 3 memory, you can promote a champion. You can play a Roachmon from your hand and then evolve into a Chimeramon and then go into a Nidhogg or something. Is really impactful. So it kind of offers a lot of utility in that sense. It's both 3 play cost and 1 to evolve, so really cheap on both ends. Vegemon is nice because he is a 1 evolve 6000 DP, so again that DP threshold is really important, being able to swing over most champions in the game. And then 4 play cost is of course the next cheapest as opposed to Roachmon, so occasionally maybe if you got a Tamer plus memory boost, you can play this from your hand without passing turn, or even choking your opponent to 1 is pretty important. But the actual effect champions with effects here, the only ones I'm playing is 2 copies of the blocker Kabuterimon and 2 copies of the EX1 Stingmon. This guy has piercing as his main effect, which doesn't come up too much, but the main reason why I'm playing him is while this Digimon is Imperial in its name or free in its traits, you gain piercing during your turn. And if you guys didn't know, GranKuwagamon is actually a free attribute Digimon, so this works with him. So that's a really cool interaction there. So that is going to do it for the level 4s. And then for the level 5s, guys, it's going to get really funky. So playing 3 copies of Master Tyrannomon, 3 copies of Blossomon, and then of course our 2 copies of the Super Glue Chimeramon here. So these 2 kind of make more sense. Chimeramon, of course, is really good. You don't necessarily want to see him too early because you don't ever want to evolve him just on a regular stack of level 4s. You typically want to wait until you can DNA Digivolve him for 0. That way you can maximize the number of materials you get underneath him, because typically, if you think about it, if you've got egg plus rookie plus champion, and then you go into let's say you play a Roachmon and then you like stack these, go into Chimeramon, and then you stick anything underneath it from your trash. That's already 2, 4, 6 materials for your GranKuwagamon, so that's like 4 checks total. Chimeramon's really good later game for sure, but you don't really want to hard evolve him. Those targets are going to be your Blossomon as well as your Master Tyrannomon. So Blossomon, of course, the Digisorption effect is still really crazy. I foresee this card getting like limited in the future just because of the Bloom Lordmon and stuff. Maybe that's a little bit of a bold prediction, but Digisorption is still really broken. Being able to Digivolve for free is really crazy, of course, especially because you can reset stuff with Chimeramon. So sometimes if you got like an extra level 4 on field, you can like Digivolve Blossomon by suspending level 4 and then use the suspended level 4 to go into Chimeramon. It comes in as unsuspended, so that's a really cool interaction. And then the Master Tyrannomon here is mainly for the fact that this is a dual green-red. Now you're not evolving into any red Digimon here, but you are playing Delicate Plan, so having another access to another like red source is important. And then plus sometimes if you're at like 5 materials, like if you've got like Egg, Rookie Champion, and then like maybe like another champion, Chimeramon, nothing underneath it, and then GranKuwagamon, sometimes having like a Master Tyrannomon in this situation, like as the 5th material, or if you had a weird stack where you had to evolve like champion, rookie champion, ultimate GranKuwagamon, then you can just detach these two, and then you still have the +1 sec attack from the master, so it still checks 3 cards. So there's scenarios like that where like this is irrelevant for the inherited effect, but it's mainly just for the fact that it is a Christmas card. So that's the kind of chaotic lineup for the level 5s. And then, of course, for the level 6s, this deck is, of course, centered around GranKuwagamon. So, of course, 4 copies of this guy is a 3 to evolve, and then main effect, you can Digiburst 2 to give one of your Digimon a security attack +1. And, of course, it doesn't really have to be him. It typically always is because, of course, he's the like strongest Digimon on the field. But, of course, maybe if you've got, like, one of your other boss monsters on the field already, like a Nidhogg or something, this guy's maybe 13,000, and if you don't have access to the Jamming Palmon, that has a higher chance of surviving. What's really hilarious, occasionally if you've got like maybe something like a I don't know, like a Roachmon or something weak on field, and you can still detach GranKuwagamon's material to give him Sec Attack Plus and to give him jamming with the Palmon. So if you really want to just like flex on your opponent, you can give the jamming and the Sec Attack Plus to like a really weak Digimon if you're trying to style on them. But regardless, you're typically giving it to him. And then for the other level 6 lineup, of course, playing 2 copies of Nidhogg. I still think Nidhogg is a really powerful Digimon this format, especially with stuff like Armor's running around with things on deletion effects. This bypasses all of them, and it's just a 1 card out to a lot of boards, to the whole Imperial board. If they've got like a suspended Pyledramon or suspended Imperial plus like the 2 champions on field, you can just go into Nidhogg and clear everything. Is a really crazy card to have access to. And then the 1 super spicy tech copy of Hercules Kabuterimon. Realistically, you could probably just like replace this with a 3rd copy of Nidhogg, but I wanted something that wasn't, you don't want to see Nidhogg like turn 1, you don't want to evolve onto Nidhogg without your opponent having an established board, so this is something that you can evolve in, even if they have like 1 Digimon that you want to get rid of, and then just suspend and attack over it is really powerful. Also being able to suspend blockers to go for game is pretty relevant as well, so that is it for the monster lineup there. And then for the actual last level 7s in the game, playing 2 copies of Chaosmon. This is really important with the GranKuwagamon. Basically, the combo goes as you will GranKuwagamon detach 4, give him Sec Attack +2, checking 3 cards, check 3 cards with jamming, and then Digivolve Chaosmon, swing over one of their Digimon, Pierce for the other 2 checks, and then of course it'll still have jamming and security tech +2. So that is the traditional green OTK combo. And then to supplement that, of course, for the Tamers, playing 3 3 copies of Hero Amanakawa. This guy is really good for 2 reasons. You get a dual utility out of him. First of all, if you don't have the jamming Palmon and you want to boost one of your Digimon, you can suspend him if you're attacking with something that's level 5 or higher to give it plus 2000 DP. But of course, the fact that he's a red Digimon means you can also play 2 copies of Delicate Plan. So the kind of cheesy combo in this deck is that you give your GranKuwagamon a million sec attack, and then you give it jamming via the Palmon, and then you give it the ability to bypass option cards with the Delicate Plan. So all 3 of these things, it means that you're checking 5, you're completely safe because you're not triggering any option cards, and you're not triggering or you're not losing to battle. So realistically, the only thing that could screw you over is something like a Zwart Defeat in Security. That's kind of the combo with the Delicate Plan there. And then for the other kind of green cards, just playing 1 copy of Mimi just to kind of speed up the deck a little bit, and for a 4th Memory Tamer, and then 4 copies of Green Memory Boost. Yes, 4 copies of the Memory Boost here, because you're a tower deck. You're really reliant on your pieces. You need the Palmon, you need the GranKuwagamon on the same stack, etc. And then starting with 5 memory is really important, because typically if you're like promoting like, I don't know, like a Blossomon or something, and you've got like Hero plus a Green Memory Boost on field, you need this to be able to like evolve GranKuwagamon and Delicate Plan without passing turns. So that's pretty important for your main combo there. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the main deck. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments below what you think of my spicy GranKuwagamon Jogris deck down in the bottom. But yeah, that is going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.